Welcome to today's show, Legacy Living, Make Your Life Count. I'm your host, Dr. Gloria Burgess, passionate, inspirational speaker, author, poet, and entrepreneur. Good morning, and welcome to Legacy Living, Make Your Life Count. I'm delighted that you joined me this morning. I want to give a great big thank you and shout out to all of you listening today, all around the world. I'm so delighted and grateful that you tuned in. I sure hope you're enjoying a fabulous day today and that you're having a fabulous week as well, because you know what? In the grand song of the universe, life is very, very short. It's short and sweet and very, very precious. So, I hope you're making a difference in your own life, because when you do, you also make a difference in somebody else's life. Now, a lot of folks really want to make their life count for something, but they don't know how, or maybe it seems so big and overwhelming, they just don't know where to begin. So they ask me, Dr. Gloria, how do you do that? How do you make your life count? Well, it's really very simple, very simple. You make your life count day by day, step by step, moment by moment, every single day, 365, 24/7. You make your life count by being there for someone who needs the sweet fragrance of your presence, by your kind and generous spirit, and by the wonderful small things you do for someone. You make your life count by being an uplifter, by being an encourager. Perhaps you take a walk with someone you love. Or maybe you bake bread for your neighbors or support your children with their homework. You make your life count. You make a difference by being in your garden and maybe picking a handful of beautiful flowers to make a bouquet for your spouse or for your mom or dad. Not because it's their birthday. You pick them beautiful flowers just because. Maybe you share a handful of basil or thyme or something from your garden, a basket of tomatoes, with your neighbor. If you're like me, you call your mom when you're not stuck in traffic, and you tell her, I love you, Mother. Or, I just called today to hear the sweet sound of your voice. Can I just tell you something? Those few acts of kindness, or those few simple words from your heart, may seem really small to you, but to someone else, they are huge, and they make a big difference in that other person's life. You could also make a difference by being grateful for who you are, being grateful for whose you are, and by making sure that you live your purpose by giving your gifts, giving your God-given gifts to the world. Now, today I want to share with you a bit about an individual who lives his purpose, a person who gives his God-given gifts to the world over and over and over again. Now, I actually met this person several years ago. We both happened to play a role in the same event, which I realized only after I started my research for this show. So even though I don't really know this person personally, it feels like I do. Not only because we shared the same platform, so to speak, but he kind of feels like a brother. You know, if I had a brother, he would be that brother. It feels like he's someone who might have been raised in the very same household, the same family as I was raised in. We share a common love for people. We share a common love for serving others. And we're both grateful givers. And we both share a love for music. And specifically, we share a deep understanding of the power of music. The power of music to do so many different things. and in particular, the power of music to heal. So who is this person? Well, I'm glad you asked. His name is Samite Mulando. Samite is a professional musician and a former refugee. He's also the founder and executive director of an organization called Musicians for World Harmony. I recently read an article about this amazing organization, and I was so moved by what I read, I thought, wouldn't it be wonderful if I could interview Mr. Mulando as a guest on my show? I was so excited about sharing his work, about how he's making a difference in our world through the power of music. In fact, I was so excited that I wrote to the folks who published the article that I just mentioned. I wrote to request their permission to share the article about Mr. Mulando and his incredible organization. Again, it's called Musicians for World Harmony. So I received permission to share the article, which was published by the team at gratefulness.org. Gratefulness.org. The article was actually published as part of their Grateful Changemakers series. So I'll give them another shout out later in the show and share their website with you so you can check out the many fabulous resources they offer on gratitude and on gratefulness. Now, at some point, I also will reach out to Samite to invite him to be a guest on my show. But today, I'm very excited to share a bit about him because he is someone who is very inspiring to me. I know he will be an inspiration to you too, because Samite Mulando is one of those people who not only lives his purpose, he is on fire about his purpose. Before we delve into today's show, which is all about the power of music, let me remind you, you can learn more about Legacy Living Make Your Life Count by visiting the Gloria Burgess website. That's gloriaburgess.com. Gloria, B as in boy, BURGESS.com. The Gloria Burgess website, GLORIA, B as in boy, URGESS.com, or by visiting Facebook. And you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Dr. Gloria Burgess, PhD. And that's DR for Doctor, DRGLORIA, BURGESS, PhD, /. If you're just joining us, you are listening to Legacy Living, Make Your Life Count. And I'm your host, Dr. Gloria Burgess. We're going to have a great show today, as always. Now, today I'd like to share with you a bit about the power of music. Author and storyteller Hans Christian Andersen reminds us that where words fail, music speaks. Where words fail, music speaks. And Samite Mulando, founder and executive director of Musicians for World Healing, has a lot to say about the power of music, specifically the power of music to heal, which is the focus of our show today. In his own words, Samite says, music is a great force for healing. Music is a great force for healing, something we all need in our lives. He goes on to say that we are committed more than ever to the importance of our work. That's because it's so powerful, able to build bridges between people, able to evoke memories and emotions, and as more and more research is showing, able to help people feel better. Now, since 2002, Musicians for World Harmony has used the healing power of music to serve at least 10,000 people. People impacted by disease, aging, war, and cultural divides. Its work in the U.S. and Africa has touched seniors living with dementia, children living with nodding syndrome and AIDS, communities living with the impact of war, refugees and immigrants living in new places and cultures, and students living with the challenges of adolescence. Music's unique power to bridge divides and cultivate belonging enlivens those who participate in and bear witness to the Musicians for World Harmony programs. This organization has facilitated one-time and ongoing programs in villages, community and senior centers, schools, orphanages, rehabilitation centers, and hospitals throughout the United States and Africa. Some of the African nations include Uganda, Kenya, Rwanda, and Tanzania. In addition to the interpersonal harmony created through its performance and music therapy interventions, Musicians for World Harmony leverages the power of community to make its work sustainable. Musicians for World Harmony founder and executive director Samite Mulando, a professional musician and former refugee, serves as an influential advocate of the work. Now, before I tell you a little bit more about Musicians for World Harmony, just take a listen to the music of Mr. Mulando. Musicians for World Harmony is a small nonprofit. As such, it relies on partnership and collaboration to continue to expand its initiatives, which includes music therapy programming. Now, to facilitate much of their music therapy programming, Musicians for World Harmony collaborates with trained music therapists as well as students of music therapy. For example, they've partnered with several universities in the United States, Berklee College of Music and Ithaca College, to help facilitate programming not only in the United States of America, but also abroad. On their visits to Africa, Musicians for World Harmony is very intentional about building relationships with local musicians and organizations that can carry on the work when they leave. The organization has helped build a community center in Soroti, Uganda, and a music room in a school in a poor neighborhood in Kampala, Uganda. Both of these projects were made possible through donations to Musicians for World Harmony from families of deceased loved ones. And both centers rely on partnerships with Berklee College of Music and local community organizations to lead programming on a regular basis. Local partners use the centers, and when Musicians for World Harmony visits, it reinforces the work of these partners. Now, as a professional musician, Mr. Mulando often serves as an ambassador on his tours. He's frequently invited to perform and speak at community and senior centers. He also performed on Dr. Bill Thomas's Second Wind Tour and Age of Disruption Tour, a series of performances designed to engage communities who are building new and vastly more rewarding